You guys might remember that yesterday they announced that the long gestating, several times attempted Roadhouse reboot, remember they were going to do it with Ronda Rousey in the lead role? It is actually happening. Jake Gyllenhaal is going to star in it, and he's going to be starring as a former UFC fighter turned bouncer in a little club. So a little bit of a deviation there from Roadhouse, but it makes good sense. Well, now to follow up on that, we've got some more casting news in the vein of UFC and everything. Conor McGregor, the former two-time UFC champion, they've announced on deadline, is indeed going to be joining the movie right now. Now, one of the things that the article does kind of specify is that, number one, he's playing a new character, so he's not playing himself, which honestly was the first thought that came to my mind. Well, if Gyllenhaal's playing a former UFC fighter, maybe Conor McGregor is playing himself, but they're not doing that. Here's the other interesting thing about that. By saying that he's going to be playing a wholly original character, it kind of broke my other theory, which was, I came out and told Ray and Jonathan this morning, I said, I bet he's playing the guy who says, I used to F guys like you in prison. I said, I bet he's playing that guy. But apparently not. This is an original character and stuff like that. So
yeah, I can't see Conor McGregor saying that.
I mean, maybe in his own unique way. Maybe in his own way. With proper number 12. He'll come walking up with proper number 12. Say, hey. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this? I mean, listen, I am still excited about this. And I think as long as you and McGregor, because you know me, I don't like non-actors getting... I've done that for years.
Star Wars on the brain.
That would be. I've been saying every time I try to refer to Conor McGregor, I always say Ewan McGregor. I am not big on non-actors taking big acting roles, but if this is one of those things where he's going to have a couple of lines, but mostly used for action and things like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. I think it could work well. Anyway, and maybe even add a little bit of verisimilitude to it, as you would say.
Oh, I see what you did there.
So, what do you think about this move?
Well, if they've indicated that Jake Gyllenhaal's character is a former UFC fighter, it makes sense because they can bring that milieu in, and once his former adversaries find out he's the bouncer at a bar, there's great opportunity for humiliation. Oh, here you are, like you're a bouncer in a bar. And so they all flock to that bar to start some static.
That's how all UFC fighters talk, too. Oh, well, we meet again. Come on, man, put up your dukes.
Sometimes the voices don't come out the way I mean them to.
Oh, we meet again.
Sometimes. But no, I mean, I think that sometimes, look, I mean, he doesn't speak that way clearly.
No.
But
Hey.
To be honest, John, I was wondering, like, what kind of a bar in this day and age would it be?
Right.
Would it be like, where would you get the static?
A helium
and
bar.
And perhaps it is, there are military bars, there are fireman bars, there are cop bars. Maybe there's a UFC bar that older and newer fighters congregate in, which means there is potential.
That's a pretty small clientele.
Yeah, that's a very violent bar.
You train in a UFC gym.
Yes.
Well,
but there's not a UFC gym only for UFC fighters. I wouldn't be allowed
no bar
in there.
that's good there. I've looked. I mean, there is the Lazy Dog, and they have a beer club.
Well,
but I don't think that they don't laugh. They do. I belong.
I know.
So it makes sense to me. What I want to say is, to make this segment not go long, I think that this is a good idea because it gives somebody, it creates a formidable adversary for Jake Gyllenhaal to combat.
Or at least one of them. Yeah.
One of them, yes.
Chris, you hear about this. What do you think about the move?
I mean, I don't know anything about this man, so I can't make a judgment call here, but I do want to pose a question to you because... he's playing a UFC fighter, obviously, so he has that experience. But he doesn't have any acting experience. Now, Bad Bunny, you on this show talked about how you weren't sure about having him in Bullet Train or having him in the Marvel.
Bullet Train was one thing because it's a smaller role, whatever. I'm a little bit concerned about him taking on the lead role of a movie when he's not.
But he did have WrestleMania experience, my man, and he'd done some telenovelas, I believe, too. So I'm just wondering, too, is the fighting background enough for a role of this size? Do you think he'll bring the acting chops? Like, I haven't seen him ever or heard him speak.
In mathematical terms, there's a variable there. The size of the role.
Okay.
We don't know what that is, right?
Fair?
So, like, if it's a role, like I was saying to Rob earlier, if it's like 2 or 3 lines, maybe four lines, and they're snarky little lines because few people can deliver snarky lines like Conor McGregor.
Oh, awesome.
One of
Okay.
the greatest UFC press conferences ever was they lined up a fight. It was going to be one of his first title shots. And it was against a champion who he never actually ended up fighting. But when they were saying, Conor McGregor goes, "This is the biggest day of your life," because he saw himself as the biggest star of the thing. "You called your wife when you found out this fight was happening. Said, 'Honey, it's red panty night. I get to fight Conor McGregor.'" Like he is. I don't like Conor McGregor. I don't like Conor McGregor. But the dude is the king of the zingers.
I like Conor McGregor.
He's really the king of the zingers. So if you give him just a couple of zingers and then just let him physically do what he's going to do, which
Okay.
will bring a good sense of realism to it because it's actually him, the guy can actually do it, then that could be. Or yeah, somebody's reminding me in the live chat, one of his best things is people say a line about him. He says, "Who the fuck is that guy?" Like that was just his biggest diss.
Hey, John,
Yeah.
we're seeing this a lot, even in like WWE. We're seeing a lot of MMA stuff in the choreography now.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? How do you feel about that? I actually like it because it brings a new aspect to fight. Like John Wick started adding a lot of those arm bars and his fight stuff.
Well, I mean, John Wick, even when you look at Black Panther, I mean, T'Challa, I believe, if I'm remembering it right, T'Challa ended his fight with M'Baku in Black Panther with a triangle choke.
Right.
I mean, right? Like, so that's what society sees as combat now.
Right.
So it makes sense that movies, TV shows, sports entertainment is starting to implement all that kind of stuff in there. So that kind of makes more sense. Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Conor McGregor has joined Jake Gyllenhaal's Roadhouse remake. Again, if the role is small, keep his lines simple. This could be really good if they try to make him the second lead. It could be an unmitigated disaster. Whatever you guys think, jump down to the comment section below and leave those thoughts there. We want to take a moment and thank the sponsor of today's video, Storyblocks. Guys, I have been an enthusiastic fan and user of Storyblocks for years. I go to them whenever I'm in need of content creation assets like royalty-free music, video clips, or templates for my creative projects, ranging anywhere from little editorial videos to my very own full-feature documentary. Storyblocks helps you bring your stories, videos, and projects to life without sacrifices due to time, budget, or access to resources. They have over 1 million different story assets ranging from stock videos, audio and music, an in-browser video editor, and they feature pre-designed templates, animations, and outros. Storyblocks uses an affordable subscription model, and their unlimited access plans offers, well, unlimited video and audio downloads rather than a costly pay-per-clip model. With Storyblocks, you'll be able to create more content and, more importantly, better content, all while using a subscription plan that fits your budget, utilizing unlimited downloads of demand-driven and diverse content. So if you're interested in upping your content creation game, head over to www.storyblocks.com/Campea and get started today. That's www.storyblocks.com/Campea.